Welcome to Alchemy of Detox. Your blissful body begins here. I am Mariluccie, and I am so grateful to have you here with me. Detox your way to vibrant living as we embark on a spiritual and scientific journey to rebirth and renewal. This podcast is more than just about cleansing, it is about transformation. It is about unlocking the incredible power of your body to heal, regenerate, and thrive. Together, we'll uncover the ancient wisdom and modern breakthroughs that make true healing possible. So, if you are ready to break free from toxins, elevate your energy, and reclaim your health, you are in the right place. Let's begin. Hello, my beautiful soul, and welcome to episode number 18 of Alchemy of Detox. I'm your host, Mariluccie, and today I'm back home, as you can see, and also with new equipment. I feel I'm learning so much about producing these videos for you that I'm so having fun in the process and learning a lot. I know a couple of videos from previous episode were so dark, so please forgive me about that. But today's episode is such special because we're stepping now into the heart of transformation, where science meets spirit and the brain begins to change. We are talking about neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, and how that process is directly influenced by detox. If you're ever thought, I'll always be this way, or my past defines me, or I can't change how I react, this episode is for you. And is challenge that because the truth is we can change. And the journey starts within. Let's begin with science. Neuroplasticity is the brain's incredible ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. For a long time, science believed that the brain stopped changing after childhood. But now we know that's not true. In fact, not only does the brain continue to evolve throughout our lives, it responds to everything we think, we feel, and experience. This means that with conscious effort, we can rewire our reactions, our beliefs, our habits, and even our identity. When we introduce new behaviors, especially those that reduce stress and inflammation, like conscious meditation, breath work, and conscious eating with detox, we stimulate new neural pathways. The more we repeat those positive inputs, the stronger and more automatic they become. Over time, this process rewires our mental landscape, making healing and change not only possible, but inevitable. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a forest. I've brought this analogy before. Every thought you have had has created a trail through that forest. Some of those trails, like the ones formed from fear, self-doubt, or old conditioning, have been walked so many times. They have become deeply worn paths. They are familiar, easy to follow, but not always the most affirming routes. But here's the beauty. At any moment, you can choose to step off that trail. With awareness, with intention, you can begin to crave a new path, a trail shaped by compassion, presence, and clarity. At first, it might feel strange or uncomfortable, but the more and more you return to it, the more it begins to widen, to open, and to feel natural. This is how new neural pathways are born. through repetition, intention, and alignment. With every breath, every mindful choice, every pause before reacting, you are clearing brush from the new trail. Over time, this new trail becomes the path of least resistance. That's the magic of neuroplasticity. That's the magic of our own body. That's how healing becomes your new normal. Every single thought, every choice, or every emotional pattern strengthens or weakens a neural pathway. And this is why healing isn't just emotional, it is also physical. The brain is shaped by experience, and when you bring new habits, thoughts, and even new foods, we literally begin to reshape our minds. And what supports this rewiring most powerfully? A clean body, a detox system. Because here's the thing, your gut and your brain are intimately interconnected. We now understand through the gut brain axis that what happens in your digestive system directly impacts your mood, your focus, and your mental flexibility. In fact, more than 90% of your serotonin, the neurotransmitter responsible for our mood and emotional well-being, it is produced in the gut. When your gut is inflamed or overwhelmed by toxins, it sends these stress signals to your brain. These can result in anxiety, depression, mental fog, and even insomnia. On the flip side, when your gut is clean and well nourished with diverse microbiota, fiber, hydration, and fermented foods, it begins to send messages of safety, stability, and clarity to the brain. That's when neuroplasticity becomes possible. Your mind opens, creativity returns, and your inner world becomes fertile ground for transformation. When we detox the body, clearing processed foods, synthetic chemicals, mold, parasites, and heavy metals, we're also freeing the brain. When inflammation in the gut decreases, clarity increases. When the liver is no longer overwhelmed, your hormones rebalance. When blood sugar stabilizes, so does your emotional regulation. And all of this creates the perfect internal environment for neuroplasticity to occur. And let's take it deeper. Detox isn't just about food, it's about frequency. It is about what we consume also energetically. That's where meditation, breath work, and energy healing comes in. These practices create new brainwave patterns that supports creativity, healing, and emotional clarity. When you meditate, for example, you slow the brain down from beta waves, the thinking mind, into alpha and theta waves, where insight, vision, and transformation happens. In this state, the subconscious mind becomes more accessible. It is where we plant new seeds. And when you do this consistently, you begin to create a new self, one that is not chained to the past. This brings me to something very, very personal I want to share with you. As a young teenager, I used to feel extremely nervous around boys. I'd freeze up, close off, and immediately go into defense. I perceived that they might want to take advantage from me, even if they were being respectful or kind. That reaction was rooted in a deep, deep ingrained trauma, something from the past, maybe even past lives. At this time, it doesn't even matter if I find out. But at times, I didn't have the tools to understand what was happening in my body and in my mind. But through several detox protocols, meditation, and deep, deep emotional healing, I began to see that trauma more clearly, not just as a wound, but as an invitation. And here's the truth I uncovered. It doesn't matter how heavy or how deep the trauma is. I have the power to change the way I relate to it. Through forgiveness, compassion, and self-love, I have rewritten the part of my story. I began to feel more confident and more trusting. I started to see men not as a threat, but as humans. And I know this shift didn't happen overnight. It happened through discipline, commitment, and returning again and again to healing practices that rewired my mind. This is shamanic neuroplasticity, when the spiritual and the scientific merge. And I love it. I also want to share something with you that you may not hear often. When we detox, when we meditate, when we engage in healing practices, we're not just improving our daily lives. We are literally extending years on this planet. Research shows that practices like fasting, clean eating, and stress reduction support the lengthening of our telomeres, the protective caps of the ends of our DNA strand. Longer telomeres are linked to slower aging, reduced disease risk, and improved longevity. In other words, detox and mindfulness don't just help you feel better, they help you live longer. When you remove toxins, the stagnation, the fear-based thoughts, you're not just healing the moment, you are investing in a longer, healthier, more conscious life, a life where your body and your brain work together to support your evolution and your transformation. So how do we begin? Okay, start with your breath, start with your plate, start with your thoughts. Start with your story. Notice the moments where you go into a loop and lovingly interrupt it. Sit in silence. Ask your body, ask, what do I need to let go of that thought, of that thinking, or that feeling, and see it differently, and be willing to hear the answer. Just wait for it. Your body is intelligent. Know that you are never too old, too wounded, or too stuck to change. Your brain is listening. Your cells are listening. And your spirit is also listening. And you don't have to do it alone. So before I close this exciting episode, because it fires me up, I want to remind you that this week, August 27th to the 29th, I'm hosting a workshop, and it's called the Inner Glow Method, and it's online. It's not live, it's recorded. But if you're curious about starting your detox journey, or if you are started to want to go deeper, this is a beautiful space to support you and guide you to activate this spark in your life. I'll be sharing practical tools, rituals, and also the teachings of how to release physical toxins and also emotional patterns and energetic ones too. Check the link in the show notes. I'll be just so honored to have you there. Next time on my podcast, we'll explore how to navigate the dark corners of the mind with strength, with grace, and with Jawa wisdom. But for now, give yourself permission to believe. Your brain is capable of changing. Your life is meant to evolve. And your spirit? It already knows the way. Until next time, stay conscious, stay vibrant, and remember, you were designed to thrive. Let's make space for that transformation. Bye.